Welcome. In this lecture, we would talk about various types of tidal power. Now, first of all, understand in simple geographical term what are tides. So here we have the earth and this is the moon. Now, through the moon's gravity, what happens is the water actually bulges out towards the moon. But due to the bulging out on one side, there is a differential gravity that acts, and this bulge is also seen on the other side. So there are bulges, and these bulges are responsible for the tides. Now the earth actually moves within this bulge, as simple as that. But what would happen if the moon changes its position? So let's say if earth is here and the moon moves and changes its position and comes here, right? So this is how the bulge would get. So the bulge would actually get weaker from this side and stronger at this side, and this is responsible for the high tides and the low tides, the leap tides and the spring tides, right? So what is really important to understand is that tidal energy, which is one of the least utilized forms of energy, is one of the most predictable forms of energy, because tides have been occurring since day one and they occur every day, every day they occur twice a day, that's 12 hours on a regular basis. So it's highly predictable, unlike the wind energy or the solar energy, because wind can come and stop. If there is solar energy, if there is a cloudy atmosphere, then again the solar energy won't be a reliable or a predictable source. But that does not happen with tides. But there are certain drawbacks on the side of tidal energy to be used. First of all, it is an expensive technology. There is no supply chain and manufacturing sector which has been aligned to it dedicatedly. Another important aspect is anything that you are putting underwater, the material has to be well designed, otherwise the problem of corrosion would occur. So that's again one of the important challenges. And the last important challenge is, wherever there is a tidal turbine that is established, the coral habitat or the marine habitat could grow, vegetation could grow, and this could deteriorate the performance of the tidal plant. So again, sheltering that is again important. And last important thing is, these tidal turbines, when they are moving, they are affecting the fishes, right? How? The fishes won't willingly come and collide with it, but they could have their fins being damaged because of it. So overall, over a long period, these fishes, what they would do is they would displace themselves from the region and establish away from the area. But usually where you are putting up the tidal plants, these are the coastal areas which are one of the major breeding grounds and the resting sites for most of the fishes or the migratory fishes, right? So these are some of the issues that have been taken into account. But still, tidal power can be one of the very important powers, because water is nearly 800 times denser than air. So putting a simpler wind turbine, which is on the land, into undersea or the water, could be more beneficial, because these turbines can be smaller, sturdier, and generate more energy. So what is turbine? So tidal turbine is similar to a wind turbine. So it just has the windmill structure and it moves underwater. Now when it is moving underwater, it generates electricity, and as it moves, right, the electricity generation takes place. But the drawbacks of that we have already discussed. The advantages, as we said, it is highly predictable. Now what are the types? So there are two important types, which is the tidal range and the tidal stream. So tidal range is the most common of it. 98% of the energy generation presently comes from tidal range. Tidal range is nothing but the difference between the high and the low, and this difference stands up to 12 meters. Technically, if it is around 5 meters, then also it is a good standard. Now where the dams are constructed, so dams are usually constructed where the sea meets the river, and at that point the turbines are used to convert water energy or the tidal energy into electricity. Now this can work continuously for 18 to 22 hours a day. So what happens is, the water in one section is blocked. Now when the water is blocked, the water level would rise. So this is the high that is generated. Now there is a turbine here. This turbine would move and shift the water to the other side, and with this process the electricity would be generated, as simple as that. So this concept was first brought in France in 1966 in the region of Lawrence, and this is the area which actually has a population of nearly 2 lakh people, which depend exclusively on this tidal range project. Similar projects have also been seen in the regions of South Korea, Russia, China, and Canada, and the highs and the lows differences are taken into account, which is responsible for generation of the tidal energy. So that's one way of generating tidal power. The second is tidal streams. This is not a commonly used method, but one of the methods under tidal stream is definitely the tidal turbine, similar to the windmills, and this is what are also considered as breeze devices. So breeze streams or breeze turbines are seen in clusters underwater, mainly in the regions of North Scotland. They have been successful and they can power up to 12,000 homes at a stretch. Similarly, similar to this tidal stream, there is another project which is a underwater kite, and this kite actually moves in the shape of 8. Now when this kite, it's a kite, so it's moving, and it's moving in the shape of 8, and when it's moving in the shape of 8, it is generating electricity. So this is again an example of tidal stream. The third important example of tidal stream is the floating stream, the floating turbine, right? So floating stream turbine, actually it is a turbine which floats in the water, but it is tethered to the ocean bottom. Now when it is tethered to the ocean bottom and it floats in the region, it generates energy, and Scotland has this kind of projects which can generate around 2 megawatts of energy at one stretch. So again, this is one of the technologies that is used, but overall we can say less than 0.02% of energy source is tidal at this point. But by 2050 we believe that if technologies can develop and the techniques can become more eco-friendly, there are very bright chances for using tidal power. One of the major reasons for the same is it is highly predictable in nature.